inside that grave a long time. Didn't think I'd make it through those long nights. But you never late, you always on time. Remember when you got me out there? You got me out there. And now I see your blessings every day. Thankful that your kingdom's on the way. Angels all around me, hear them saying like, oh, I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to this. This is how I wanna live. Forever we'll be singing like, walk about the grave, yeah, I'm alive now. Told the devil, boy, you out of time now. Spirit moving me on a fire now. I know it won't ever die out, won't ever die out. And now I see your blessings every day. Thankful that your kingdom's on the way. Angels all around me, hear them sing like, oh, I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to this. This is how I want.
Welcome in, everybody, to the In Off the Bench podcast. My name is Jim Cross, and as always, I'm joined by my boy, Daniel Ball. We're heading back to Sooner Nation, Daniel. We're going to talk to star freshman Lily Pederson. You've seen the intro. You've seen the clips. Daniel, if I showed you that clip, would you believe she was a freshman?
No, I mean, stuck landings. I mean, just the poise, the energy, like you see it, man. And it's not like it's not a rookie looking thing. It's not a freshman looking thing. It's like someone who's a vet that's been doing this for a long time. Like
it just shows that program, like the talent that comes through there. But obviously, you know, I got stoked. I showed you the email today. KJ Kindler is going to come on the show. But what she's doing with that program, these girls come in, you know, fit right in seamlessly, look like veterans. And how about looking like veterans? Look at my shirt, Daniel. Got my Dane Seeger swag.
What?
I mean, I feel official now. I'm ready to invite in Lily. How are you doing, Lily Pederson?
I'm good. I'm doing awesome. How are y'all?
Oh, man, excited, blessed. I mean, Daniel, you know, the Super Bowl did not meet expectations, but that's all right because it's gymnastics season, man.
Yeah.
The real Super Bowl is in a few days. We all know that. Let's go.
Absolutely. But, you know, I got to ask, Lily, did y'all have a gathering? I know y'all probably didn't care much for the game, but I know there had to be some sort of gathering, get together. Y'all had fun, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the freshmen got together and watched the halftime show, of course, and it was so fun just being to hang out with all the girls and just watch it together.
So me being a guy who's a little bit overweight, the key thing I need to know is what was the best food item there?
I mean, personally, I have my go-to, which is goldfish, so I just brought that to the party.
Oh,
That's what
Lord,
I had.
Lily.
I know,
Lily.
I know.
You got to up your
I mean,
Super Bowl
when you're in the
party
dorm,
game.
there's not much to have, so.
I mean, wow, Daniel, that's a new answer on anything food related.
I mean, you know, you're right. It's you know, campus life is tough. Not impossible. No, not impossible, but tough. I got you.
I like to stick to the basics, so.
I am curious, you know, staying in the dorm life, who are your roommates?
Yes, my roommate is Kelsey Slade. She's a freshman too and on the gymnastics team.
Oh, so you have the amazing view also.
I do, yes, of the football stadium. It's really nice.
I mean, I told her to send me a picture and she sent it to me and I was like, I sent it to my daughter because her view don't look anything like that at LSU. And I was like, you're doing it wrong. Like, you need a view like this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Daniel, we went about it all wrong, man. We should have thrived in a way that we're getting dorm rooms with the view, man.
I mean, outside of you don't even have to go to a single football game to feel like you're there.
Oh,
That's unbelievable.
My favorite part, though, was when she said the negative, right? Like, y'all had to get the shades because the light is so bright. Yeah, I could see.
They have to keep the lights on, yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Daniel, I'm done spilling. You can get into your questions.
All right, Lily, let's get into this. Obviously, everybody, you know, when they hear about you, they know White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Are there any white bears, and is there a lot of white bears in the lake in Minnesota?
Kind of, yeah, there's a lot of lakes really close to us, and it's a pretty small town, but everyone who lives there knows each other, which is really nice. And there's just a lot of things in that town that you don't see anywhere else, especially here in Oklahoma. Just a lot of like small stores that you can go to, and just being able to walk in and everybody knows you by name, which is awesome. And schools are very close, playgrounds, everything can be walking distance if you make it. So it's really nice, and I love growing up there. So
Well, let me ask you this. Is White Bear Lake an actual lake? And if so, have you been there?
I don't think it's a lake, no, and I have not been there if there is one, no. But there's like there's Goose Lake, which is by us, and Eagle Lake, all that.
Who was
No,
Daniel? Who was from Ham Lake, and there was a lake, but they had never been there.
Elle Miller.
Mhm.
She, you know, just went off about Ham Lake, and then I finally asked her, "All right, well, have you been there?" She's like, "Well, no."
Yeah.
So when you talk about White Bear Lake, all right, you say it's a small town and like, there are things to do, and like, all right, if a guy like me was to go to White Bear Lake and I had just a few hours to hang out there, what's the one thing I gotta do?
So there's this ice cream parlor that's down there, and you can't find it anywhere else. It's called Cup and Cone, and you have to visit it. It's amazing. Like the ice cream there is something you won't get anywhere else. The flavors are immaculate. Like really cute, like sitting down areas where you can take pictures and just hang out with friends and family. It's just a go-to if you ever visit White Bear Lake because it's the only one ever. So
She was ready for this question, but what's funny,
I'm
Daniel,
telling you.
is when I think Minnesota, I think very cold, and the last thing I'm thinking about is ice cream, man.
yeah, that's true. I mean, it is closed in the winter, but if you go in the summer, you should go there. But
There's two things I can do, Lily, and that is eat ice cream when it's cold outside and drink cold coffee when it's cold outside. Those are two things
exactly,
that I can do. And
exactly, same.
I feel like if you're an ice cream person, at some point living in Minnesota, you're just gonna have to deal with it being cold outside
Oh
and,
yeah,
craving some ice cream.
definitely,
Um,
exactly.
let's talk about family. You got a twin brother. What is that like having a twin brother? What's Talon, right? Talon's his
Yeah,
name.
Talon.
All right.
Yeah.
So what is it like having a twin brother? Like people always say, like you guys like think alike, and when one person is experiencing something, the other person's kind of experiencing it
Mhm.
too. So tell me, like, is
Yeah.
all that is that truth or is that all myth? Are we
Um.
busting myths
So
tonight?
yeah. So for me and my twin brother, it's a myth. A lot of people, even just with siblings, but especially twins, they're always like, oh, they're like a built-in best friends. Like you said, they all think the same, like do the same. Not me and my brother. If there was the biggest opposites in the universe, that would be me and him. But yeah.
So what are the advantages then of having a twin sibling?
Yeah. I mean, for us, we got to grow up to school together. So if I ever had trouble in school, I could just call him or text him and he'd be there, which is nice. He's always there in my corner and he knows we're the same age, so he knows what I'm going through. Like through the teenage years, we were going through the same thing. But what is nice about being opposites is that we're interested in different things. So our family got to try a lot of different things where a lot of people, where if they have siblings or twins, they're interested in the same thing. So you're doing the same thing over and over again. But it was nice how we got a little diversity there, which was nice.
Yeah. I'm sure Corey and Monica had their hands full with y'all too.
Oh,
I mean,
I
they
just want to
did.
know if he was an athlete too. That's what I need to know.
Yeah, so he's not. He's not an athlete. He likes his video games and just spending time with friends and family. So they got the one athlete and then they got the one stay-at-home kid who loves it. So
Dad played hockey and baseball, Jim. Can you believe that?
yes,
Like two of the like worst like sports to get like hit by something in. Like if I could imagine getting hit by a puck, a frozen puck or a baseball, like I would rather get hit by a bus than
yeah,
either of those two. Like that was terrible. Would you say you got athletic ability from dad or from mom?
Dad, definitely. Yeah, he
Oh,
can relate.
definitely. Does he?
And mom was the
Does,
video gamer.
yep, she's a gamer.
She actually did cheerleading in high school, but that's the only sport she did. And then
Hey, that's where your tumbling came from.
yeah, I got a mix of everything, I guess.
So who was the biggest influence growing up? I mean, obviously, as an elite gymnast, you're going to start at an early age, and you're going to go through a lot of coaches and trainers and teams, and you'll participate on teams with a lot of really good athletes. And you got dad who's an athlete, you got mom who's supportive, you got a twin brother. But like, out of all these people, who was your biggest influence when it came to your gymnastics?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick just one. I mean, everyone I met throughout my life had some influence on me and that helped me through my journey. Like you said, my dad, he was an athlete. He's helped me so much with figuring out ways to help my sore muscles or coming up with rituals before a meet to help me compete well. My mom, who's just always there to support me, and then all the coaches that I've met throughout my life all had some inspiration to give me and motivation, and my teammates were always there and my built-in best friends. And then of course, like the great like Maggie Nichols or Simone Biles or Shawn Johnson, looking up to them, watching them as I grow up to be an amazing gymnast. I mean, everyone has had some influence on me, and I thank them for it every single day.
I mean, it seems like Nastia Lukin had some influence on you too, because you just
Oh yeah.
dominated her cups.
Oh
mean-
yeah, she was amazing.
2024 Nastia Lukin bronze medalist on uneven bars. All right, two-time national champion on bars and all around. You're out of flips gymnastics. When you look at gymnastics in Minnesota, is it a big time sport, or is it kind of low key, or like what is the talent level like in regards to gymnastics in Minnesota?
In Minnesota, a lot of big names come from it. There's just also not a lot of gyms there. But there's so many amazing people who came from it, like Grace McCullum, Suni Lee. I mean, Maggie Nichols, Olivia Troutman. Like they've all come from Minnesota. So for me, it's a low key sport, but it's such a big inspiration to everyone, and the people who come out of it are amazing. So I feel like it's a bit of both, because a lot of people in Minnesota don't follow it as much as they should, as I would say, but amazing people have come from Minnesota.
Since you did that nice name drop there of Suni Lee, I did not know, Daniel, that she wasn't going to compete for Auburn this year. So in that opener that y'all were in when I went and saw y'all in Nashville, I was looking for her, and I just made an assumption she'd be there. Do you happen to know like why she didn't? Like I didn't read any news that she wasn't.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think after the Olympics, she's been trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. So she's done a lot of modeling recently, and she's been in New York recently, I think. So I think she's just trying to follow her dreams of that, and then maybe decide if she wants to come back to college or try for the Olympics again. But I'm not sure.
And I may have made that assumption just because all the rest of them came back, right? Like, so
Right.
I guess I just thought it, but I mean, she definitely. I got to see her over the last 2 years, and it's really cool. I told Daniel when I was the first time she came to LSU, you know, it love seeing a crowd get excited for somebody on the opposing team because they're an Olympian.
Exactly. I totally agree.
So when you're in gym, obviously with flips gymnastics, you guys are traveling a lot. Outside of Minnesota, it could be in the States, and I don't know if you performed and competed outside of the United States, but where is your favorite place outside of Minnesota that you've been and competed?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say, I don't know if it was because it was my first travel meet ever when I was younger, but I went to Savannah, Georgia, and it was beautiful. I mean,
Big fan
everything,
of Savannah. Big
yes,
fan.
everything I remember from that meet, it was just beautiful. And the meet itself was really fun. But I want to go back there as I have family down in Georgia too. So I'm excited because we're actually going to Georgia in a couple weeks. So I'm excited to go back there. So I'm really excited.
You better bring your A game. That's what I hear.
yeah.
We were just talking with a baseball player from Georgia, and I told him that I've been told by people who weren't Georgia, you know, students and fans, that it was one of the most underrated, you know, towns in America. And he said, absolutely, Athens is just beautiful. But I agree on the Savannah thing. I feel like, Daniel, I don't really ever hear any bad reviews about Georgia, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of traffic in Atlanta, like you're right. I don't hear any bad places to go in Georgia.
But it ain't Bear Lake, Minnesota. That's facts.
It ain't Ham Lake, and it ain't Bear Lake.
Yeah.
And it ain't Minnesota who, you know, so this is the thing, Jim. When you claim you have 1,000 lakes, isn't that their motto? Like we have like
10,000 lakes.
10,000
10,000.
10,000 lakes. I'm beginning to understand the trend. These lakes don't even exist. They've made up names for all of these lakes. They might have 2 lakes, the great ones, and that's it.
I mean, it'd be like all the pools in Florida, and y'all call it 10,000 lakes, right?
Right.
We know it's pools.
Right. Because I mean, that's what
You
it's
know,
come to. I think.
actually, that is a complete tangent, but I would like to know how many pools there are in the state of Florida, because just in your neighborhood, there's like 100.
Oh, I mean, every house almost has one. But all right, we got to get down to the big question, Lily. Obviously, you know, being an athlete, Jim and I can understand, like, when you choose to go to a school like Oklahoma, you see a lot of athletes and they got a lot of rings on their finger, and that matters. All right, so let's take rings aside, okay? Why did you choose Oklahoma? Was it coaches? Was it going there? Was it just you wanted to get further away from Minnesota? What was the one, like, outside of the championship, tradition? What's the one thing that drove you to Oklahoma?
The coaches and the atmosphere and the teammates. And it would just, when you step on campus, it just feels like a home away from home. Like, everyone is amazing. They're so supportive. The coaches are amazing. All, like, Tom, Lou, Ash, and KJ all bring something else to the table, which is amazing. The girls are, like, built-in best friends. Like, they're the best people you could ever ask for. I'm so glad that I get to meet them and be with them, like, for the next 4 years. It's amazing. And the schooling is obviously amazing, which is definitely a category. And then the campus was amazing. Everything is walking distance, which is really nice because I don't have a car. So I needed, like, a place where I can be able to walk because I don't want to walk miles on end. But honestly, like, everything is amazing. Like, everything I could ever ask for. And I just love it here. And I've always known. And yeah, since 6th grade, I've always known I want to be here.
Jim, do you think Lily could walk further on her hands than we could on our feet?
No, but it's a funny question. What's funny is I was thinking as she was saying she didn't want to walk. I mean, if I trained as much as she did, I wouldn't want to either.
I mean, that's why she got the penthouse right outside the football stadium.
True.
But you talk about that coaching staff, and I talked about the excitement I had when the SID department had cleared KJ to come on the show, because you just look at the resume of what she's put together. But I'm just looking at the girls over the past few years that we've had on, and it's just something different there. Obviously there's a lot of established programs that win, but it's also a whole nother thing when you see the family atmosphere, you see the way the girls conduct themselves. You don't ever worry about, like, trouble. Like, it seems like everybody knows to take care of, the studies, even everybody's making their grades. Like, and I think that just starts at the top with that coaching staff. And so I think you made the right choice, just because it seems like they really got everything going together, not just the rings. But I do want to ask, that Minnesota to Oklahoma, we know that they're not the same place, that's for sure. Was it a culture shock when you first got there?
Yes and no. At first, it was a little, just because compared to Minnesota and Oklahoma is just very, what's a good word for it? It's just, they're very different. I mean, every state is different, obviously. But Minnesota, obviously the weather, the Oklahoma summers are hot, very hot compared to Minnesota. So that was a culture shock, and it's very just weather, obviously. I mean, the people are also kind of different. I mean, Minnesota, the people are nice, but the people in Oklahoma, like, everywhere you walk, everyone is like, oh, hi, hello, how are you? Like, even if you don't know them, like, everyone is just so nice, so supportive. I've never really met, like, a bad face before. Like, everyone is just so nice, which I wasn't used to. Everyone's very helpful. Also, Oklahoma is very small, I would say, compared to Minnesota. There's not, I mean, I'm on campus, but even when I go outside of campus, there's just not a lot of people. But I think that's what makes Oklahoma so special, is that because I'm here, and I just feel like it's a very special state.
Yeah, absolutely. What's interesting is all the Northerners always say the people down south or in the Midwest are nicer, but the people we have on from the North are nice. So I don't know, y'all just might be surrounded by all the wrong people. But, I got to ask, on this team, you come in with, me and Daniel laughed about it, and we talked about it with Elle, and we talked about it with Kelsey, and we talked about it with Addison. Like, they had freshman of the year options, and then at the bottom of it, it said Oklahoma freshman class. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. Like, what's it like when you have a group of girls coming in that talented, and like, y'all can, iron sharpens iron, like y'all can help push each other to greatness.
Yes, 100%. It's everyone's just so amazing, and it's when you're surrounded by amazingness, it just pushes you and motivates you to want to do better and to just be like them. And like you said, like we all push each other, we all are motivating each other to be our best, like do our best and just have fun. And it's nice because I've grown up with Kelsey and Elle. Like Elle came from Minnesota, so I've grown up with her and I've seen all the amazing things she's done. Same with Kelsey. Like they're all just so amazing, and Lizzie and Addison Feta, like they're all just so amazing. And having us all be together just makes that 10 times more fun.
I mean, Daniel, they basically were like, look, we're all going to go to Oklahoma together, and we're just going to dominate everybody. And
yeah.
We don't have a chance.
I mean,
Poor Kaylin Chio is like, hold on a second. Like,
she didn't get the memo, clearly.
He's like, Haley's going to be leaving me next year. This ain't cool. But no, I love it. Like, because this team is the most, like, talking to Kira, Daniel wasn't there for that episode, but I was like, you fit in the middle, and it doesn't like, there's a stacked freshman and then there's the stacked seniors, and then like you and Faith just kind of fall in like the middle. Like, it's a weird, dynamic to have so many freshmen and then so many star seniors. But with the upperclassmen, and give me somebody other than Danny, because everybody always says that. Like, which one of them was really able to, pour into you and take you under their wing when you came in?
Yeah, definitely Jordan Bowers. I mean, even before I came in, she was reaching out to me asking if I needed anything. And then when I moved in, I mean, she was so helpful. Like, asked if I needed anything, would always check in. And then if I ever was having a bad day, because adjusting gets hard sometimes, she was there for me. She pushed me, she motivated me, and I wouldn't be where I am without her today. I mean, she's amazing, and I am so thankful for her.
I'm glad we interviewed her to find out that she was like all smiles and fun, because when you get to the gymnastics floor, like machine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I love it. Like, you see the other girl smile, and it's like not her. And there's different ones like that, because as somebody who was always going to LSU meets, like, everybody has their own thing, but Haley always stood off by herself and didn't talk to anybody. And you would think she was just a bad teammate, but like, everybody locks in their own way.
Yeah.
Right? But that first meet, in Nashville, you got a big quad. You're the first one to go. Like, we talk about being a freshman, like, here you go. Well, welcome to, NCAA gymnastics. Welcome to the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got the first vault. Like, was there any pressure, or like, were you just excited, ready to get it going?
Obviously, with every competition comes nerves, but I was honestly just so excited and honored that the coaches like let me be the start off for vault, considering I was a freshman, and that they trusted me with that and trusted my training. And I was just so excited to start my college career. And honestly, looking back, I don't even remember having any nerves. I was just so excited to go out there and do my stuff, do my gymnastics, know what I can do, and then just have fun and enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I mean, y'all were absolutely locked in. I joked and told some of the other girls, they were like families and friends trying to like get y'all's attention, because we were right over the top of y'all with the way that vault was set up, and none of y'all were like paying attention. Like, y'all were locked in.
Yeah.
And that's shown week to week. I want to ask you about that. So like, for instance, Florida and LSU have hit 198, right? And you see these teams, they fluctuate. They may get a 196 something one week, and they may get a 198. But y'all are a model of consistency, 197.7, 0.8. Like, how is it y'all are able, like, because no other team does it. Literally, me and Daniel have had this discussion. How do y'all manage to stay so locked in to where you just don't have an off week?
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it comes down to the coaching and our discipline. I mean, in the gym, we're disciplined and we're consistent, and we are pushing ourselves to be our best, not to have any accidents happen or any wobbles or anything like that. Just because then when you go into the meet, I mean, you compete your average, and then if in the gym at practice, if your average is good and like 100%, there's nothing to be nervous about. Just go out there and do your gymnastics and have fun and enjoy the moment, and just knowing that you're here for a reason and that your gymnastics is good. There's a reason why you're at the University of Oklahoma. Just go out there and do your stuff, and you got it. And we all just trust that. And I feel like that's a big baseline of why we're so consistent.
Yeah, and is there talks before the meets? Like, so Kelsey Slade getting in a couple weeks ago, right into the lineup, because so many of y'all do the all around. Is there talks like, hey, there's potential that one of y'all may come off of, an event or whatever, and I know for you, because those are, your freshman friends, like you definitely want to see them get that opportunity. Do y'all talk about that at length before like meets?
So usually like the night before we'll always talk about lineups and stuff, and she'll name the lineups, and at the end of every session we have, when she discusses it, she's always like, there's always even if you're not in the lineup, it doesn't mean that you're not being considered. It doesn't mean that you're not in the 7th or 8th place. It doesn't mean if something happens in warm up you won't be put in. Like, she's always making sure everyone is ready. If you're practicing an event, you have to be ready to compete, which just motivates everyone to push themselves harder so they can make it into the lineup. Even if you're not an all-rounder, doesn't mean you can't at least do one event. So that
If
all
you're
motivates everyone.
if you're signed in as an all around, like if they have, are you able to come off of that? Like, can you like pull off an event?
Yeah, you can. I mean, under the circumstances, anything can happen, but most everyone at least does all 4 events, so it kind of just depends on
Mhm.
who's ready at that moment.
Well, and it's fun because we got to talk to Elle about it. Audrey ended up going instead of her on the one, and I was like, "How does that feel?" And she was like, "Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't be happy about it." But she's like, "When it's Audrey Davis, can you really be upset?" And I was like,
Right.
That's true on that team, and I think you all know, obviously you're competing every week, but as far as the younger ones, like they're all gonna move on, and it's gonna be their opportunity. And I think them, as much as y'all practice and work together, and those upperclassmen pouring into y'all, the sky's the limit on the future. But I want to talk to you about getting, SEC Freshman of the Week, back to back out the gate. Is that something that like you thought you might potentially do? Do you think about, or is it like really surreal that it actually happened?
For me, it's surreal. I mean, coming into college, my goal was just to, obviously compete one event. I was like, my goal is to at least get on the competition floor, compete one event. I'm going to do my best. So even just competing all around is such an honor, and I'm trying to work my butt off so I can stay that way. And just getting like showing that I can get SEC Freshman of the Week, just it's such an honor because it's just showing all my hard work is paying off, and showing that I can do this like back to back, and I'm just really excited. But it's so surreal that's actually like a dream come true, because like before I even came to college, like seeing all those girls like get posted like SEC Freshman of the Week or just SEC Specialist of the Week, like it's just amazing and such an honor. And my goal is just to keep doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Daniel, when you look at the freshmen around the country, obviously we brought up Kaylin, you look at Avery Neff, you can just do the names. Like, gymnastics is in good hands, man.
Oh,
Mhm.
is what I'm curious to know is like transfer portal. Like, does it do it? Like, is it gonna flip this thing around? Like, um, because we're seeing this resurgence of women's gymnastics over the past, I would say 5 or 6 years, where like it's big time. And like you go to arenas, Jim, you've been there, they're selling these places out. Like, if their arenas would hold more people, they would have it in bigger
But
venues.
I don't think it will affect it, because what we've seen talking to the gymnasts, money doesn't necessarily move the needle with them as much as being able to be a part of a program and a culture that they want to be in.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was alluding to, is that, you don't typically see that in gymnastics. You see a lot of like, we're a team and we're going to stay a team and we're going to fight this thing through all the way. Even people who have extra years of eligibility tend to stay in the same school that they've been. Kaya being one of them, she decided she would come back. Obviously, an injury is something that allows you to have that thought to come back. But I think coaching does it, but the culture at Oklahoma is like top of the line. Like, everybody that comes on talks about how, from the coach down to just the media people, like everybody is so in tune with what you guys are doing and loving what you, there's support, there's obviously there's competitiveness, and it's like there's a standard of excellence, but it's people love being there. And so I think gymnastics as a whole, to fully answer your question, Jim, I think gymnastics as a whole does a really good job of that community and culture and making people feel like they belong to
Well,
something.
one of the things that's great is, right, we don't have to worry about them getting drafted to the MLB or the NFL after, their junior year. We know that they're going to come back for a senior year, especially because a lot of them are trying to get their degree, right? And so we know that's something. And so, using Lily, can you imagine, like, by her fourth year, like, it's unbelievable.
I mean, she's majoring in business. Like she gonna
She
be a
stands on
fortune.
business, bro.
I'm telling you.
So with that, let's get to it. This weekend, we joked. This is like the Super Bowl was crazy, right? Is y'all already met in a quad that had two other elite powerhouse programs, but this is different simply because for anybody who's never been to the PMAC for LSU gymnastics meet, it's absolutely electric. They have the pyrotechnics, it's crazy. And so this is going to be for the number one team to come in for your last two national championships, SEC road meet. It's going to be everything. And like, just, how excited are y'all? Like, it's easy for somebody to say it's just another week, but there's no way that's true, right?
No. Every week is a new competition, and we're always so excited because it's a new place, especially for freshmen. But a lot of us are really excited for this week because, as you said, it's very electric in LSU, and the crowd is amazing, and the girls are amazing. I'm so excited. They're going to be a great competition, and it's just going to be so fun, and we can't wait because it's just a start to what the rest of the season is going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, going to Tuscaloosa last week, it gave me an appreciation for what it's like if you're a road team, right? Because obviously I'm not competing on the floor, but I'm there with LSU. And so I see that, and it's like, now I can get why girls will go, so if you go to LSU, and it's not like in gymnastics, you don't have people out there booing and saying negative, like, so that's a thing that you can eliminate also. So I think it's a really cool opportunity, and it's on ESPN2, which was great for the sport, right?
Yes.
Powerhouse matchup. And what they even did better, because I'm an LSU baseball fan, that game's at 2:00, Daniel. They made sure that everybody at LSU could be at the gymnastics meet, whether that was on purpose or not. It felt perfect. No one has an excuse to not pack that thing. It should not be an empty seat.
Jim, I do have a question. Lily, obviously when you are going up against a powerhouse, like LSU, and now this is the second time like you're going to see what they have. Does coach tell y'all like, hey, like you can't worry about what happened last time, or does competing against them once already help, or does it kind of hurt going into a big matchup like this where the stakes are a little bit higher?
Yeah, so KJ honestly says something similar every week. She just tells us to go in there, do our gymnastics, trust our training. As it's always fun competing against people, but we're there for us. We're not there for the other team. We're there for us. So we're there for Oklahoma Gymnastics and to do our best and just to have fun. And she always says, take in the crowd, like use them to your advantage. So like you said, it's so electric in there. So she'll definitely talk to us about that and being able to just have fun with our floor routines and take in the audience and take in all the cheering and all that. But it's always just, we're there for us, and we're going to just go out there, have fun, and do our gymnastics.
Yeah, and the dynamics are completely different. I can list off the reasons why. Obviously, starting with you and Addison, the amount of reps y'all have gotten, and obviously the whole team, but specifically just with y'all as freshmen. But even on the LSU side, Haley Bryant wasn't healthy. KJ Johnson wasn't healthy. Kaylin, getting her experience as well as the other freshmen. So I think both teams are going to be so much sharper than they were, week two. So, I mean, I think this is a race to 198. Like, let's call it what it is. I just hope the judges don't have a factor and, take away from both teams for that matter. Like give the girl, because I'm going to tell you, Daniel, if you can pull off the routine in that atmosphere on the road, like, I'm expecting these Oklahoma girls to do, give them what's due, because it's a hard place. But I'll end with this, because we've been kind of talking about this whole state of gymnastics, Lily. I have started to realize or not realize, but more and more I'm talking to people. I think people only watch gymnastics for the Olympics for a long time. And I feel like now more than ever, and the ratings show this, people are realizing these same gymnasts that we're seeing every 4 years are competing every year in the best environments. Like, do you feel like college gymnastics is at its best spot it's been?
Yes, I totally agree. I think college gymnastics has grown a lot since I've been watching it and just being in it. I feel like so many other people are getting into it and coming to the meets and watching it and like following it on social media and all that. So it's been really awesome just seeing all these people support us and being able to finally recognize the sport as it should be.
Well, just make sure y'all stay the course because Daniel's going to be in Fort Worth. He hadn't been able to make the other meets. He's way over there in Florida, but he gave me a look. But I got his ticket and his hotel. He better not bail. My son will be there at minimum. He's the best fan you'll find.
Oh yeah.
You got to watch his son. That dude will take his shirt off, start swinging it around.
It was a baseball game. Stop it. No, the gymnastics. I tell you what, the Fort Worth thing. He's never been into anything country or cowboy. Next thing you know, he had a cowboy hat and a lasso walking around. I was like, "Who are you? You're worth it. Thank you."
You gotta love him. But Jim has created a monster when it comes to this kid because he has witnessed a lot of championships, a lot of like sporting events that like I could only dream about at his age being able to do. But he gets so invested in certain teams, like he is like all in when it comes to his team. Like he
had no problem walking into Alabama with LSU on it, and then straight up,
oh wow,
he would not stand up for the Alabama stuff. He started saying something when Alabama fans were booing the judges because he thought it was at LSU. He felt some kind of way, but it worked out in his favor because as soon as Haley Bryant had walked over to the rail to talk to someone, she noticed him and called him over. And I was like, "Hey, that's what you get, like respect from the GOAT."
Yep.
Seriously.
There you go.
You know what? Hey, on that GOAT competition, Daniel, I might, I don't know, man. After watching Jordan this year, and what's funny is Jordan's kind of actually been outproduced by Faith. That's the thing about this team; they're so good. But people are like, "You've been really saying that Jordan Bowers is the best. Are you kind of off the Haley Bryant thing?" I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't ever want to have to pick.
If there's OU on that leotard, like that's the winner. That's the clear pick.
I think honestly, Lily, like it's weird to say, but I think so many people were talking about Jordan coming into the season. I think people just forgot how great Faith and Audrey were, right? Like, and then now that they've, all gotten the SEC Gymnast of the Week multiple times and done what they've done, they're like, oh yeah, like that's why I said something about the trio. But it seemed like coming in, like Jordan got a lot of the talk, and knowing her and talking to this team, like that's not what she wants at all. It just sometimes comes like that. That's why when we were talking to Daniel, who were we talking to? Almost went to UCLA. Jaden Silvers. She almost went to UCLA and she ended up going to Cal. And I told her that's probably one of the greatest blessings because right now I don't feel like anybody else is on UCLA other than Jordan Childs, right? Like you got Brooklyn Morris has got the top floor, in the country, but I wouldn't know it because, and so I would never want to be on a team where like all the attention's not on the team. It's just like on an individual, like Oregon State, even like Jay Carey deserve it. Right. But like, I don't know who else is on that team because they don't talk about them.
I get it. Yeah.
Outside of Shea Campbell, like it's hard to know anybody else on UCLA. And it's not like she did anything wrong.
Right. Like she's an Olympian gold medalist. Like that attention comes. It's the same thing that comes with LSU, right? Like I told you when the judges didn't, or when the parents didn't like the score by the judges, somebody said that's that Libby Dunn treatment. I thought that poor girl, she didn't even do nothing, and somehow it was her fault.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
you're gonna have those in every crowd.
Ignorant. That's just ignorant. All right, Lily, we got to get to our game before you roll up out of here. It is It's called This or That. It's very easy. All right. I make our games very easy because we usually have some baseball players. And if you know anything about baseball players, like you don't want to bamboozle them with these tough questions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you one option.
Baseball player, watch it, man.
I'm not talking, old school baseball players, guys that have been in they know, like we're talking about the new school, the new gen. All right. But it's very simple. I'm going to give you two options. You choose one option or the other. Can't say both. Can't say neither. Just go with your head. Go with your heart. Go with your gut. Just be decisive and pick one.
Okay.
Jim, who is This or That brought to you by?
Chinook Cedery. I got Parmesan pepper in the OG original tonight. Mixing up a little different, but 8 flavors, mild to wild, the best in the game. Daniel, we set up the first ever ambassador deal. Chinook Cedery and Oklahoma Gymnastics. You can use the code FAITH! Help her out. Daniel, I'm telling you, we need to get seeds all around Oklahoma. It just feels like a seed place.
I mean, let me tell you what's a seed place. This room is a seed place. Shout out to Chinook. your boy needed some seeds for that walk to
You didn't
school.
expect that many, did you?
And no, I didn't. And let me tell you, they think they're funny. They put one box of dill pickle in there.
Yeah.
So, but
I may or
my
may not have been
smokehouse-
behind that.
I got my smokehouse barbecue. I got my cinnamon toast. I got my lemon pepper. I got Hatch chili. I got all my favorite flavors. I mean, let me see if I can look at that. Look at that. I mean, I got my box right here. I'm ready to roll. College baseball season is in full swing. I'm ready to rock and roll.
I'm gonna take them from the baseball game to the gymnastics meet. I'm gonna be rocking them.
Start slanging.
I might wear my Faith T-shirt in LSU. I might get bold.
Ooh.
No, probably not. But I'm not going to wear LSU. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going neutral with the black and white and off the men's shirt.
If I was you, this is what I would do. I would take that shirt you got on, go down there and wash it, dry it, do what you got to do, make it look pristine, and throw that thing back on and rock that and be happy. I mean,
we'll see. I don't want to be booed in my own city, man.
And this guy, he's worried. Okay. Then be second best that night. That's all I got to say. All right, Lily, let's get into this. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
I mean, like if you come on here and answer this question, cats, I'm gonna immediately end this episode.
No, there's only one right answer. I mean,
yes,
cats.
No,
I have 3 dogs. I have 3 cats.
Dogs.
No, I have 3 cats. I have 3 dogs. All 3 of my cats are better than all 3 of my dogs.
Okay, I have 2 dogs and 2 cats, but I gotta go with dogs. I mean,
yep.
Here's a question: do you let your cats go outside daily?
No.
See, we do, and that's why our cats act right. See, if you let them act wild when they come in, they don't cause trouble.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
Look at that, Daniel. Blew your mind. I actually had to tell me that. You should let them.
I don't quite see the logic there.
They weren't intended to actually be house cats. The Egyptians started that trend. Cats are meant to be outside.
I mean, well, yeah, of course. Like tigers are cats, lions are cats, bobcats. I mean, wildcats.
Let me ask you this, Lily. Do you plan on stopping by Mike's habitat and seeing Mike the tiger?
I want to, yeah.
Got to. That is the most spoiled cat. When we talk about cats, I mean, $10 million habitat, it just don't get no better than that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's probably a good stop if you have a chance. All right, moving on. Chicken or steak?
Chicken.
Chicken?
Yeah.
Barbecue chicken, buffalo chicken, fried chicken,
any
grilled
kind of chicken.
Nashville hot chicken.
I mean, think about what she said.
Tenders.
I mean, think about what she said, Daniel. I mean, what kind of chicken do you know? There isn't a chicken I don't like.
You're right. As I was saying that, I was like, I would eat that. I would eat that. I would eat that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. No bad chicken, even though I would pick steak instead. All right. When it comes to the academic side, you're a business major now.
Mhm.
What's more important to you, math or English?
Math.
Yeah, you got to know that math.
You gotta.
Got to have them pivot tables and them spreadsheets and those data analysis and all that good stuff. All right. Beach or lake?
Lake.
I mean, she's from.
I mean, you already knew us. Yeah.
I mean, I'm convinced that you don't even know what to do at a lake because the lakes don't exist in Minnesota.
They do. It's so fun.
They skate on them because they're frozen, bro.
I know they go out there and poke holes and fish.
Even in the winter, you can skate on the lakes. I mean,
so hey, I was watching a video of that the other day, the ice fishing, and they were drilling their holes. And like Daniel, like I just thought to myself, like you start drilling a hole, what happened if that whole thing fractures? Count me out.
No, like who? All right, for starters. Who wants to go and do something that's supposed to be relaxing and actually have to do work? Like who wants to like pull out their power drill and like let me drill into this lake? And you got to drill deep enough so that you hit water. And then like you said, now like you're worried about, well, is this thing gonna crack? Am I safe out here? Because every time I see people ice fishing, Lily, it's in like these little huts.
Yeah.
And like you don't see the ice around you, you just see the ice under you. And so like that hut could just fall in and like you're done.
Yeah.
I've seen enough movies where they fall into the ice. Count me out.
Yeah.
When it comes to movies, rom-coms or dramas?
Rom-com, 100%.
What's the last movie you watched?
We just watched. What did we just watch? The Notebook.
Who were we talking? Jaden Silvers? Is that who was talking
That
about
was
the Notebook?
that one what she watched. She said that was when you asked what her favorite movie was. She
Oh
said that.
yeah.
And I said it was important because it made Ryan Gosling a great actor because he developed and made a bunch of movies. And then you came back with, well, he was in Barbie.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah,
you're gonna
They
miss me.
paid him a lot of money though. Sometimes money just talks, man.
I mean, he was enough.
But he's a great actor. I stand by that.
All right.
he's a good actor.
What is
about
your favorite movie though? You said you watched Notebook. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite, I would say, what would be? That's so hard. There's so many. I would say 10 Things I Hate About You.
Solid.
That's not a bad movie.
That's a good movie.
All right. When it comes to movies, are you a movie or would you prefer a show?
I prefer a show.
All right. What kind of shows are we talking about? Like reality shows? Or
The Office.
Oh, The Office.
Yeah. Shows just Friends is my comfort show and it's so good. I watch it like every day.
That's back to back on Friends too. Back to back Notebook, back to back Friends.
I'll say this. I've seen, I think, probably 90% of the Friends episodes. And don't get me wrong, I like the show. It's fine. Like if it was on, I would probably.
If you're gonna say something negative, stop right now.
No, I'm just saying it's not like it's not my most favorite show. Like when people talk about they've seen all the episodes, like they're 100% all in on Friends. I'm not. Like
but what makes it great is I've seen every episode probably 10 times over. You can watch them, and it's only when we really take out commercials, it's like 22 minutes, and it's like it's always funny. Like it's just lighthearted, puts you in a good mood.
Exactly. It does.
That's how I feel about The Office. Like I could
really
watch The Office like just as background noise and like hear certain things and just think it's just hysterical.
Yeah,
Here's the important question I got for you, Lily. Were Ross and Rachel on a break?
They were on a break, yes, but I mean, they said they were on a break, so they were on a break. They did mouth it, but they weren't like broken up, so I don't think it was okay for Ross to go do what he did because what?
I'm team Ross because Rachel should have quit hanging out with. I don't forgot his name.
That's true. I'm also a Ross hater. I never liked him in the show. He's my least favorite character.
What's interesting is he was voted like easily like everyone's least favorite character, but coming in, he was the most famous when they started that show. So he was actually the highest paid, him and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, he was.
Daniel, we're putting you with the Friends facts, bro.
What I do know is they were gonna sit out and not make anymore until they all decided to make the same amount.
$1 million a show each.
Yeah. Good for them. Good for them. All right.
This is where it gets interesting. Very rarely lately have we had an all around. Lately we've had specialists, so it's gonna hit different.
All right. So first question: if you could only do one of these, vault or floor?
Vault.
All right. If you could only do one of these, bars or beam?
Beam.
All right. Vault or beam?
Beam.
No way.
Oh yeah. Look,
you're crazy. What you?
I
said if anybody ever answered that, they were a psychopath, and you of all people were the one.
I love Beam, especially since I came to college. I've just learned to love Beam. I don't know. I look forward to it every day.
Well, when I watch you, I look forward to you vaulting. I thought that was going to be the answer.
I mean, I do love vault, but like Beam is just superior. It's just superior.
Wow.
Sorry.
I do appreciate it.
I mean, that is a big word, superior. Not like it's better, not like it's I enjoy it more. Like it is flat out superior.
And going back to that Sprouts meet, me and Daniel were texting in real time, and since y'all started on Beam and decided to own it and dominate it like nobody's business, me and Daniel were like, this thing's over already. We're like, if they're gonna do that to Beam.
Yeah,
it was so fun. Love Sprouts meet.
Like that was the thing about LSU last year, right? Kaya talked about it. Beam was the one thing that they weren't strong in, but they were the best floor team in the nation. So we're like, if we can just survive Beam and get to floor, we're good all the time.
All right, Lily. Concert or sporting event?
Sporting event.
What sporting event? Like if it was a bucket list sporting event, what would you go? What would you do? Which one?
I would go to a Vikings football game. I've never been to one.
You've never been?
No, because my family is actually Packers fans.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So
Daniel, don't do it. Daniel, don't do it.
I'm not. I'm just gonna stick with the Vikings. This would have been the year to go.
no, I know, but
Here's what I will say. They locked up their coach. It's clear that the receiver that is one of the greatest receivers that will ever
okay.
do it is he's going to stay there. I don't know if they're going to lock up some Sam Darnold for a little bit, but I mean, I think they've got the makings to be in the picture
You
for a
know,
little
Daniel,
bit.
I agree.
we're in our 5th year of the show. I've never had to tell this to a guest, but here we are. You know, Lily, I've only cried once during a football game, and as a Saints fan, it was when the Minnesota Miracle happened. Like,
Wow.
I didn't talk for 30 minutes. My wife was scared. Like, she didn't know if I was okay because I just sat there and couldn't say anything, and I had a tear, shed, and then I finally got up and I took a shower and I came back out and told her I was never watching football again.
Yeah,
It hurt.
I mean, he told me that he was never ever watching football
I
again.
stood firm. I didn't watch the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. And what made me even madder was I thought Minnesota was a team of destiny since they did that to us. And then they turned around and lost the next game. I wanted them to win it all since they did that.
I mean,
Wow.
it
That
happens.
makes sense.
All right, last question. This is the money
Okay.
question. All right.
Okay.
You're $5 million, or you can have a national championship. Can't have both.
National championship, hands down.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, like this would be the easiest $5 million you would ever make. It was just like basically me. This ain't like one of those big cardboard checks where I hand it to you and then you hand it back to me and then we take like a long time to like get you paid out. No, like this is like me giving you a briefcase full of $5 million.
No. Money disappears, memories last.
Daniel, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. You ready? I'm going to make
Yeah.
you make a bold prediction right now. How many national championships does Lily Pederson get in her career?
I think 2 would be fair. I really think it's possible to do 3. I think it's very possible to do 3. But then we start talking about like who's ever done that before once you start going past that and like, but I think 2
I'm
is
with
a
you.
good
3
run
was
of
my
it.
thought, but I was like 2's the safe bet. I bet she's loving it. She's like, I'm good with 2 or 3, but 4 would even be better.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know where my money is, so we'll just say
It's
that.
a shame they don't have that as a bet at the casino. We go lay all our money before the season. We'll get rich.
True.
We the odds wouldn't be that great, but
Yeah, you
still makes my
probably if you bet $100, you could probably
Be
only bet
even.
like 50.
yeah.
Right.
All right, Lily. Anything you want to plug or promote before you get out of here?
No. I'm all good. Thanks for having me.
Well, I had a feeling you might say that, so I always come prepared.
Okay.
All right. If y'all want to know more about Lily Pederson, all right, the freshman of the week, the freshman sensation for Oklahoma gymnastics, _ Lily Pederson. That's PEDERSON on Instagram. She's got a lot of videos. She's got a lot of hype stuff.
She's
She's
got
got
a shirt like this, but with
Yeah.
her for Fans Meets Idols. So y'all get a display. You can get this, but with Lily.
Let's go. And then guess what? You know, I'm gonna do this. This weekend is a big one. All right. LSU. I hope you're getting some sleep. I hope you are rested. I hope you are getting the proper nutrition and recovery that you need from a long weekend and a long week that is, because you're going to need it. The Sooners are coming. All right. They're coming to town. It's Valentine's Day. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that there's going to be a lot of broken hearts, because the Sooners are going to come in. They're going to win. And it's not even going to be close.
Ooh.
So get ready. get your popcorn, and you might as well start solidifying your after Valentine's Day plans for some tears and some tissues and all that good stuff, because it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be just Sooners all the way.
Daniel, I'll
They're
tell you
coming to
this.
Baton Rouge to handle business.
Daniel, I'll tell you this, because I'm spending Valentine's Day with 30 plus other women and taking my wife to dinner on Thursday night and again lunch on Monday. Got to make up for the fact that I'm spending it watching a bunch of other women.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
She actually wanted to go. She's got to work. She actually likes going to the gymnastics.
So I think I mentioned that to you. That's what you should do. But either way, Valentine's Day, 7:45, ESPN2 this Friday. It's going to be Oklahoma, the best team in the land, versus LSU, the number 2 team in the land. So it's going to be exciting.
It's
going to
be awesome. Going with this whole way about it, because Lily, let me tell you something. He's kind of got himself. He doesn't even realize it. He spends so much time talking about you're the champ until someone else beats you, and yet here he is already dethroning LSU.
Wait. Let me tell you something about the champ. You are the champ until somebody beats you, but I said it at the beginning of the year. My rule is firm, except in this scenario. I said, Oklahoma, LSU got lucky. Oklahoma gave them a gift last year. Gave it to them. Gave everybody a chance to do it, and LSU just barely took advantage of it. That's not happening this year. I said my part. We all know what's going to happen.
Here's my bold take, and then we can sign off. I'll stand by this, Lily. I think the biggest threat to y'all is not LSU. I stand firm, and even though they're ranked 7, I stand firm that it's the sleeping giant that is Cal. I don't think they'll gonna beat you. I'm just saying. I think at the end of the day, the top gymnasts on that team, and when they're healthy, I really like what they got. And they went, Daniel, we talked about it, they went from 3rd to 2nd, and so they've took a step up every year. So they're thinking first place.
Hey, it's possible, but
they're not going to. I just thought I would throw out there. That's who my biggest challenge I think is.
I think the biggest thing is like you said, you just do Oklahoma gym. You just don't worry about who's on the other sideline, because the reality is after this week, it's still pretty difficult the following week because you got Florida. So it's just you against yourself. Do the best you can do. And as always, Lily, I say this to every guest: have a great season, a successful season, a healthy, injury-free season. And when you guys win the championship, we're going to bring you back on. We're going to talk about it. And then, the great thing is we get to talk about how you can plan on winning a national championship for the next 3 years after this year. It's going to be phenomenal.
Thank you.
All right. Lily, we appreciate you. Have a great night. Good luck this weekend. Jim will be there to hopefully root for you. Probably low key, so don't hold it against him. He'll be there.
I actually told Planning of Gymnastics I would get them all the video that they need, because I got them this Alabama LSU from last week. So, Daniel, I just may have the phone out in front of me. Nobody's going to even know what I'm doing.
That's Lily Pederson, everybody. If you like hearing Lily's story, or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook. Retweet us, maybe. Probably not on X.
No, I don't use Twitter no more. It's the devil.
All gone. Well, there it is. Hey, here's what you can do. You can go to YouTube. You can click like. You can click subscribe. You can click notifications. That way you're one of the first to get the notification when
she leaves.
New content is
good to go, Daniel. Our YouTube, we got clips of Lily wasn't even a guest yet, but because we knew she was coming on, I got clips. She don't even know it yet. She's got YouTube clips that got like 50,000 views already. Her own Vault. That's why I'm a Vault fan. Like,
crushing it. Just think though, how many views you'd get if she was on Beam. 100K, 200K.
True.
But Jim, another solid episode. What do we got in store for everybody coming up?
I think we should just do Oklahoma gymnastics every night. No, I'm just kidding. We got Chris Stamos from Tennessee tomorrow. Next week, we got Ethan Conrad, Wake Forest, Dalen Thompson Campbell, Sarah Seville of Maryland. But just for those who are Oklahoma fans, we got Ava. Do you say it's Siegfeld? Is that how you say her last name?
I believe
So
so.
we got her as well as Daniel, our second time to do an Oklahoma commit with Kinsey Estep coming up on March 11th. So we got 2 more that are currently on the team. Another one is committed. We're going to stay locked in. Eventually, we're going to have be able to say we've had them all on. I actually feel bad that the ones that are left on the back end, because I think they might feel like they're not as important, but I just kind of go as they come.
Right.
The official podcast of Oklahoma gymnastics right here.
And we got KJ also that's going to be, so it's all going to happen. It's going to all happen.
All right. We'll check everybody out tomorrow. Chris Stamos, University of Tennessee baseball, national champion. He's going to be talking to us. Got a wild story, man. Just crazy, we'll get into all that. But this has been the Off the Bench podcast. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We're out.